Hey YouTube, it's Mike with Mike Jones Knife and Tool, and I was recently watching a video by a guy named Mark from Long Dog Knives, and I really like his stuff. His designs and his lines on his knives are really cool. You should check them out. They rub me all kinds of the right ways. But anyways, I just watched his a shop tour video that he did, and for some reason it inspired me to do my own because I thought it'd be neat for you guys to see exactly what I'm working with. So here we are on the way out to my shop in my backyard. You pass under this apple tree. Later in the year you can pick a delicious apple on your way to the shed. And I didn't do anything back here except come back, unlock the door, and turn on the light. So it's a mess for sure, which is not out of the ordinary. This is gonna be legit, real talk here. So this shed was here when we bought the house a couple of years ago, and it's playing pretty double duty here because it's also storage for all kinds of stuff that we don't have room to store in the house. So I'm gonna need to build a new shed somewhere and store all the stuff that's just getting covered in steel and wood dust, because right now it's pretty tight in here. So alright, so welcome to the shed. As you can see, it's congested, it's messy, it definitely needs an organization, but I thought it'd be way more legit if I showed you exactly what I'm working with. Here's these are all my stencils. I like to cut them out, the stuff that I use the most often, and then it's just easier to trace those than just paper. Over here is a bunch of shelves full of all kinds of junk. These are projects I'm going to get to sometime, some clamps, some product, more steel that's currently being worked on. This is a stainless stuff, and that's some high carbon, and back up here more high carbon and stuff that's already heat treated, that sort of thing. It's kind of how I organize it. There's my oven for heat treating up there. Here's my main workspace. This is all I got, guys, and it's getting more and more filled up as I buy more and more tools. This is obviously my new grinder. The one beside it's the old one. More junk, and I have to keep these things mobile when I run them. I have to move them out into a space where I can use them, because it's too tight. I can't have everything locked down into a permanent workspace, because I need to move things so that I can work on stuff out here. Here's a little light that moves around, so that's easy enough to, if I just got to do something quick over there, I can just shine a little light. Here's an old door I ripped apart to make some shutters for the window. Get a little natural light in here. Bush fucker I'm working on. This is my PPE station, my mask and stuff. More clamps. This is, okay, it's a little shady, but this is how I'm running my grinder right now. I wired up this guy to the two black cords for the original wiring, but I guess it was grounded through the mounting system, so I added this red wire for ground. And then because it's so short and I'm too lazy to attach a longer wire to the whole thing, because I'd have to get right inside of this motor to rewire it, I just run it off of this huge long extension cord, which is way too long for what it is, but it works for now. I'd rather work on knives than work on setting up to work on knives right now, so it's good enough. Over here I built this little shelf to mount my my little bench grinder and my drill press, and so that just at least got that stuff out of over here, because everything was on this bench originally. So built a little shelf there. This is just stuff that needs to be put in a shed somewhere. These are some tools. My drill, because sometimes I hand drill through handle material. The rest of my drill kit's at work at the job site. Dremel and Dremel tools. Lathe tools. I've got a lathe. This needs to get out of here because clearly there's not enough room. I also need to get rid of my chainsaws and jerry cans. It'd be nice to put the water wheel somewhere else, and that giant compressor doesn't need to be there. This is my new little bandsaw, and I've mounted that on this cart with wheels I originally made for my snowmobile to move it around, and so now I can push it out. I cut stuff on this just where it's sitting. It's too much of a pain to move it up onto the counter to cut a few things. So I kind of usually sit on a 5-gallon pail and cut out some handle material or whatever I'm doing, and then I can wheel it out of the way over there to give myself this much space to stand to do any drilling or whatever. So that's what I got. That's a whole bunch of oak that I've ripped up, some steel. Those are the bush fuckers that got bent. Golf clubs, crucial. Like I say, there's all kinds of stuff in here that needs to be somewhere else, like a ladder and some rope. There's my little scroll saw that I use to cut out these guys. Mostly it's not really good for anything else. Bunch of handle material, a bunch more handle material. This is all sort of organized. It's more organized in piles of where it came from, so that I can remember who gave it to me or where I bought it or whatever. Up top, again, more handle material. That's my latest box from Costa Knives, thanks Chris. Whole bunch of processor bars. This cabinet here is full of all kinds of different things. There's parts for the pump for the fish pond out there. Stuff, chainsawing stuff and product. Like, this is all really household stuff. This doesn't open unless I move my chainsaw out of the way, which is kind of a pain, but you know, boat stuff. Down there is, hope I can get some lighting. Yeah, it's not going to pick it up, but there's all kinds of more projects, basically. Just an overflow from that pile is down in there. And then there's some fasteners and junk up here, tape, stuff like that. These cupboards, piles of gloves and construction site stuff. That's like tools that I don't want to get damaged, calipers and measurement instruments and finer tools that I don't want to get wrecked if they're just sitting out. Down here is mostly power tools and some electrical stuff. This is where I keep my most prized tool. I use the most for sure. It goes down in the drawer there where I can get at it nice and easy. And that about spells it. Oh, there's some more. If I reach over my bandsaw and lean on my lathe and reach down there, there's more handle material. Weed whackers. Back in there is a bunch of antler. Everything is covered on a thick coat of dust because shops get dusty. So, like I say, this is why I need to build a shed and get all this stuff out of the way. Sanding belts, boards, levels. It's badly needs some organization. But that's how much room I got to work with. I don't stumble on things anymore because I'm kind of getting through my mind that I don't have room to take a step back at all. I could take 2 steps sideways. But this is where the magic happens. So there you go. It ain't glamorous by any means, but it's what I've got, and I make do, I guess. So thanks for watching, and insert pity here.